Hello, I'm John McNamara, the Information Architect for IBM Messaging, and I'm sat here with Ben Bakowski, testing guru, Bryan Boyd, development guru.
Hey guys.
And Joe Speed, who's the M2M leader. Hi, Joe. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk you through IBM Messaging and also give you some highlights for the new release that's just come out. So let's kick off with giving a quick refresher of what IBM Messaging actually is. Joe, do you want to take us through that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So MessageSight's product IBM released early this year. It's an appliance for mobile and machine-to-machine applications. Use it for connected life. So it's engineered for deployment in the DMZ, for communication on mobile networks and the internet. And it's a very dense, very green piece of kit. So, you know, per rack we can do 21 million concurrently connected people and things, which is like 40 times higher density than if you're using an Apache web server or some other technologies. And it's a quite fast piece of kit. So, you know, per rack, our high water mark so far is we've gotten it up to 340 million messages per second, which is quite fast indeed, and very low latency. So, you know, things, if you had two things, two people, two devices, two applications on the same fast network, you're talking about communications in microseconds, not milliseconds, and I think you'll see some of that a little bit later. Some of the popular applications for this, you know, where would you use this? Well, things like mobile. So because the communications that we do is engineered for mobile networks using MQTT and MQTT over HTML5 WebSocket, it's very efficient and very fast. So we can do 93 times faster than HTTP on Android, using 11 times less battery to send, 170 times less battery to receive, and you can have this always connected behavior with publish, subscribe, so that as events happen within the world, you find out, you interact with it all in real time, and with reliable delivery. So, you know, not with the issues like alerts, notifications can get there quick, late, or not at all. And it's the not at all that's especially troubling. Some of the popular applications are connected car. The automakers are really hot on this. Got a bunch of car makers working with it. There's been a lot of press around Sprint and the things that they're doing for their automotive customers, and they've got a demo of their own video using this. In healthcare, so we have some of this technology being used by customers with 100,000 heart pacemakers doing remote monitoring, so clinicians sit at the hospital, look at the EKGs, and decide what to do about it. Smart grid applications, smart grid, smart meters, smart building, all these kinds of things where you have lots of devices that you need to make sense of. And when you have, you know, millions of devices sending millions of events, that's a big data problem. So this fits very well for enabling frictionless communication, enabling all of those events to get gathered up and do real-time analytics, real-time decisioning. For the automakers, for example, since a car maker is a rolling sensor platform, hundreds of sensors, being able to do real-time predictive maintenance to figure out, you know, this part's going to break in the next 100 miles, let's contact the mobile or send a message to the dash and get that driver in there right away.
Joe, that sounds fantastic. So we've also had as well, as part of this release, the MessageSight for developers. Do you want to give us a quick rundown as to what that is?
Sure. So MessageSight Developer is a, you just download it from IBM.com, so it's a virtual appliance. You run it on your desktop or on a box. So you download it, and it enables you to quickly create mobile applications that you could then deploy out. So creating applications, whether it's for mobile or for, you know, developing things with devices and so forth. But it's a very easy, very nice piece of software to work with, and it sets you up well for being able to deploy in production using the actual MessageSight appliance.
Brilliant. So I know that Bryan has created an application that runs against both IBM MessageSight and IBM MessageSight for developers, and has also made it available as a sample for people to have a play with and get up to speed on creating applications. Bryan, do you want to take us through it and show us what you've got?
Absolutely. I'm going to do a quick screen share. So this application consists of two separate HTML5 web apps that demonstrate the use of a key fob to control your car. So these two web clients are going to connect to a MessageSight for Developers VM running in the cloud, just to show how fast the response time is. From these two clients, from my remote, I can hit the start button, and instantaneously, messages received and processed by my simulated car here. I can do a couple other actions like honk the horn a few times. You can see just how fast and responsive it is. If someone had this key fob app in their hands, they could start their car sending a message through MessageSight in the cloud before they even take their finger off the button. Just instantaneous fast. So this sample is available on the IBM Messaging blog for you to download and use as a basis for creating your own messaging application. So I'll walk through two other samples real quick. The first one is the messaging tester application that you can use to quickly tell if your MessageSight for Developers VM is set up and configured properly. The application is available from the messaging pane on the administrative UI. And the app itself is a visualization of MQTT messages flowing between MQTT clients. I can connect up to 5 JavaScript MQTT clients to my MessageSight endpoint and set up publishing loops and subscriptions on a set of predefined topics. So basically, if in your application you see colored squares moving the way you would expect, then that's how you can tell that your MessageSight is set up and configured properly. So the last app that I'll show leads into a available with MessageSight for Developers, remote monitoring via PubSub. So we make remote data, monitoring data for the appliance, throughput and connections, memory utilization, endpoints, topic monitors, things like that, available on a few reserved topics. And this application automatically subscribes to these topics on connection and updates the stat values whenever an update is received on the monitoring topics every 2 seconds. So to make this useful for developers, each monitoring section has a help icon at the bottom. When we click on it, we show the actual monitoring topics the application is subscribing to. So here, $sys, resource statistics, endpoint. And we also see the last JSON data payload received on this topic. So you can take a look at the sample data that's coming through and write your own monitoring application to administer your appliance or virtual appliance. And so this monitoring sample will be available from the IBM Messaging Developer Works blog very soon, so be on the lookout for that. John, back to you.
Well, that is absolutely awesome. So now we're going to move on to one of the other aspects and highlights of this new release, which is a local monitoring for MQ connectivity. And now it's Ben.
Okay, so we've heard some really interesting facts and information from Joe about why you might want to use MessageSight, connecting all of these mobile devices together. And Joe mentioned it's a big data problem. What do you actually do with that data? Well, suppose that you want to use those data inside your enterprise somehow. How do you actually funnel and channel that information in? And this is where MQ connectivity comes in. It provides you the ability to hook your MessageSight appliance into an MQ network, and from then you can use your existing enterprise network to actually analyze the data and take business actions based on that. For example, an application server. Now, with MQ connectivity, we provide custom panels inside MessageSight to help you understand and monitor the behavior of this network. So it's very easy to see how your MQ network is responding when used with MessageSight. So we provide the facility for you to check connections, see the behavior of queue managers, and make sure that everything's running smoothly.
Awesome. That sounds excellent, buddy. Thank you very much. Okay, so if we move on to enhanced retained message support, what is that exactly?
So those of you who are familiar with MQTT may be aware of the capability for retained messages. So for those of you that aren't, I'll just spend just a moment describing it. Now really what retained messages do is provide you the ability to get information to a reconnecting client quickly. So one of the challenges with mobile clients is that often networks can be a little bit flaky, say you drop connections. Now suppose that you have a client that is connected to MessageSight subscribing to a topic to get status updates at regular intervals. Now what happens if that client becomes disconnected for a day perhaps? When you reconnect in, your client wants to get the latest status information immediately. Now if you use retained messages, you can publish a retained message to that topic And as soon as that client comes reconnecting in, it will get that latest message and none of the messages before it. So you don't have lots of old, out-of-date status messages to process, but you get the advantage of having data to handle instantly without waiting for the next status message. So it's a really, really nice aspect of MQTT. Now, what we provide in MessageSight is the ability to propagate this retained message behavior over an MQ network and into an application server. So your application server can get involved in exactly this type of messaging behavior to make sure that your clients can sort of make full use of this retained message support.
Awesome.
That retained message aspect, that's a pretty clever thing too. That I have several car manufacturers, some banks that are doing very interesting things with it. So the moment the mobile's connected, the moment the car is reconnected to the network, say it went through a tunnel, the moment it comes out, it instantly has, what's the latest status, what's the latest worldview, what's the latest things that I need to know. So you never miss anything.
Genius. Well, guys, thank you very, very much. That was fantastic and really useful. Thank you. The folks watching, if you want to get in contact with us, you can ping us on Twitter at IBM Messaging, or you can get in contact with us on our blog, the IBM Messaging blog, and we'll put the information to that in the notes. Thank you now. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.